All righty. Can I have a motion to come out of closed session, please?
Okay. Vice Mayor, I move that the council certify that in closed session just concluded, nothing was discussed except the matter or matters specifically identified in the motion to convene in closed session and lawfully permitted to be discussed in a closed session under the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act as cited in that motion.
Second.
Have a roll call, please?
Casanello,
Aye.
Larson,
Aye.
Pater,
Yes.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Vianney.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
Do you need to say when Ken joined us?
Yeah, Councilmember Larson joined the closed session about 6:30.
Correct. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Call to order.
Yes. Go right away, or do we have to delay? Okay. I would like to call to order the Haymarket Town Council work session for Monday, February 24th, 2025. Roll call, please.
Casanello,
Present.
Larson,
Here.
Gallagher,
Here.
Ramirez,
Here.
Baker,
Here.
Vianney,
Here.
Pater.
Here.
And Mayor Pater is coming in via remote.
Correct. That is correct. We please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, we need to go back into closed session. Can I have a motion to go back into closed session?
All right, the motion is for the Haymarket Town Council to go into closed session pursuant to Virginia Code 2.23711A1, a personnel matter involving the assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of the town, specifically dealing with the town attorney.
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We will now go back to closed session.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you're back on.
All right, thank you. Can I get a motion to come out of closed session?
Okay, all right. Vice Chair, I move the council certify that in closed session just concluded, nothing was discussed except the matter or matters specifically identified in the motion to convene in closed session and lawfully permitted to be discussed in closed session under the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act as cited in that motion.
Second.
Can I get a roll call?
Casanello,
Aye.
Larson,
Aye.
Pater,
Yes.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Vianney.
Aye.
Okay. I'd also like to direct staff to perform the actions as discussed in the closed session. Thank you.
Not object.
Without objection. Without
No
objection.
objection. No objection.
No objection.
No objections?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate you all.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Now let's move to our first item on the agenda. Let's do our monthly financial report. Roberto?
All right, I'm not saying good evening.
Saying good evening, council.
So there's nothing super alarming on the budget. Everything is as going as expected. A few revenues have been coming in higher, as expected, though. I believe if you recalled, during budget adoptions last spring, the business license tax is coming in strong. That is due to some of those one-offs. Now that developments are done, some real estate that was sold within the town, one-time sales for the new homes. Our meals taxes have been coming in very strong. I believe these numbers are actually not including some of the ones we have received in the mail late. So it's next week you'll see an updated number on that. I don't know if there's specific questions on this monthly agenda item. The only other update I want to give you is that I am currently reviewing the FY 2023 CAFR report. The reason why I bring that up is because, as you guys all recall, once we get that, we're able to move forward with the financial analysis. I'm hoping to, so far everything looks great. It looks like 2023 was a good year for the town. Once we review that and they give the final report, I am going to go ahead and reach over to the financial analysts via Steve Mulroy and David to go ahead and start beginning the process. I know with our finance liaisons, we have a few questions, kind of give them some narratives to start off, points to start with. And also that will hopefully be in discussions in the coming months. So just want to give you an update on that currently.
Can you just tell us what CAFR stands for again? Consolidated, right? Or something?
I should have known you would have asked.
Well, I only do it because we have a new member and.
So CAFR. Let me go back to now.
Okay, sorry about that.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks.
You're welcome. Anytime.
You could toss it back to them. And
Yeah, you
see,
could.
who knows
Well, our
the
finance
answer.
liaison has done a lot of these
Wait a
for a
minute.
few years. Yeah.
Where's my other guy? Well, yeah, okay. Consolidated
the
audit, financial report,
assessment
report, financial report. Go
Is
ahead.
there an A in there?
Yeah,
You wanna guess?
Something like that.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Consolidated
We'll
financial
follow up with
assessment.
that.
We'll follow up on Monday.
On Monday.
Good question.
Okay.
Yeah, so is there any other specific questions though on the monthlies or any? No?
Anybody have anything? Yep.
Sorry, thank you. Since you brought up the financial analysis, I'm imagining that's the forecasting. Is that what you were
Correct. That
referencing
is
to?
the 2 to 5 year forecasting, yes.
So I know that the goal was to have it in time for our budget discussions. Is that still on track?
So yes, the hope is to have it during the budget discussions, but the proposed budget that I'm working on is still taking into account the CIP, which is what the financial forecasting is also going to use to detail for the future forecasting is our CIP based mainly off our CIP and operations. So it will marry up. And obviously they will the things will change as of August actually of this year, as we will come to a complete payment of our debt obligation. So the town will have no debt at that time.
Okay.
So yes, it would, though we wanted it a lot sooner, we just prefer to have the most up-to-date data in there. So that's why we're waiting till we get this report done.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
ChatGPT.
Would we like to
says
give the
an-
answer?
Annual comprehensive financial report.
There you go.
Any other questions or comments on the financial report? Okay, let's move on to the FY 26 budget schedule.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so another thing, around this time, I usually send out a schedule that I hopefully the council, we can agree with as to what will go forward when it comes to the upcoming proposed budget. I am proposing, unlike last year, I am requesting at next week's meeting, if I can get the directive to go ahead and do a public notice for the real estate and fee schedule on April 7th, hold that public hearing then. And then also to hold a public hearing for the budget, the public hearing on May 5th, 2025. The reason being is just that I find it that in the past, we've always tried to not be at the last minute trying to adopt this budget. The hope is that we can have these discussions and have a budget voted on the June meeting, regular council meeting versus having to do a special meeting. Throughout this process though, you can see that I have tied in the work sessions and in our regular meetings to have any discussions on changes or thoughts on the proposed budget. Obviously though, my door has always been open to council, and I have already reached out to a few of you and have talked to you briefly to give you an overview currently. I know you have not seen it yet, but to give you a heads up on what the budget will probably entail. Obviously next week, we hope to have that on the agenda, the first draft. And discussions can be, at set time aside with the town manager and myself and the chief to have those discussions one-on-one if we need to.
Councilman?
Okay, so March 3rd, you're looking for a request to hold a public hearing. Fine, sounds good. And we're going to be discussing the proposed budget on the 31st, and that will include the tax rate and fee schedule?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. We will include the proposed budget on the March 3rd,
Right,
but a full-on discussion will be on March 31st.
a full-on discussion.
Where we
Okay,
have
we'll be
dedicated the
dis-
work session to go through the department
All right.
line items and stuff.
All right, so in between that time, when can we expect to get the real estate tax rate, fee schedule, and proposed budget in advance?
It'll be in the agenda packet this coming week.
Can we get it before the agenda packet, or it won't be ready until then?
We can try to shoot for it. There's just a few items. The only thing that's holding it back is that we don't have I don't have the final numbers for the assessments. The county assessment office is hoping that by the first week of March, but what they have done is similar to past years. They give an estimated assessment, which is pretty spot on what the finals are.
Right.
Once we get the finals, I can individually break down parcels as to what the assessments are for each individual parcel. I can tell you because it's pretty soon that the budget is being worked on. It's being proposed by having a flat tax rate, meaning keeping the tax rate at its current rate of 0.105. I'm not working with any carryovers or reserves. It's going to be the budget being worked on to balance with just using the expected revenues of the town.
Okay, so you're waiting on the assessment only, right? You think you have everything else to plug in, like the insurances and?
The insurances are all in there. We did see an increase on that. But the only one that it's still not, I still don't have, but I'm estimating a number there is for the general liability insurance, which is the property insurance.
Right. Was that through VRS?
Yes.
Okay, so the reason why I'm asking is because we were discussing it last week, and one of the things I asked about was the fee schedule, because I don't think we've made a lot of changes to that fee schedule in a while. And so, that would be something that gets plugged into it, and it'd be good to have. I think it would be good for everybody to have it in advance, so they can kind of think on it a little bit and try to better understand and have questions ready and how it relates to the budget.
Certainly. And with the fee schedule, the biggest impact that we would be seeing is for these larger developments that come in, reassessing what our site plan fees are versus we are not looking to change what a typical residential application would be. We want to keep that low cost for our residents as well as our commercial businesses that are coming in. But these larger development review packages that take longer, that's where you're going to see the biggest change in the fee schedules.
So we met last week, the finance liaisons. We'll be meeting not this week, but the next
the
week.
5th.
the 5th, right after our meeting. So you'll have nothing for that meeting. So do you anticipate sitting down with the finance liaisons prior to the 31st? Or no? Like we've done in the past, in the last couple of years, we haven't been involved in the proposed budget.
No, we do discuss it. We do tend to talk about it during the finance liaison normal meetings, yes. Yeah, when time permitting.
But not really going through it. The reason why I say this, so people understand that in the past, there have been some comments that maybe that some people have put their thumb on the scale, so to speak, with respect to the budget. And that's not true. So, I mean, we've left it up to our staff to develop that budget. We probe, we ask lots of questions, but we don't tell them what to do. We don't make any direction. Council makes a direction here at the work session or in regular meetings. So I just wanted to share that so everybody's clear. Okay. But I would like to see it in advance if possible, so it could be prepared. And in a week, I guess a week, but maybe you can print out the budget in the large size, 11 by 17.
I plan on doing what I've always done, which is printing in a big 11 by 17, have everyone have a hard copy, and so we can all go over it.
Okay. Yeah, that's my, thank you.
Yeah, to piggyback on the fee schedule, it would be nice to understand if we're going to try and negotiate an adjustment on it, to understand how much our costs are and how much we're losing from them, as opposed to, just the trending of that kind of information to help us make it a good basis of estimate on what we should make our fees be.
So the fee schedule is more to align to so the way the fee schedules are set up now, anything that's done for the town itself, it's at cost of the town. But anything that is done for developers or
like site plan
site plans,
evaluations.
those are actually passed through on to the developer itself or submitters. So it's pretty much a pass through. It's not something the town makes revenue on. It's just making sure that, just like every other profession, the engineers, if their cost is going up, we want to make sure that we're still within that realm, that it's a wash for the developers and submitters.
Exactly. And that's the kind of things we need to understand. What gets passed through, what fees do we need to adjust to handle that? And
So and I'll explain it, I'll show you a draft of the fee schedule, but as it currently sits today, if you look at it, all of our big zoning developmental projects that are done, it'll have a fee and then it'll say plus TAR plus ECR, and that's the attorney review fee, and then an engineering consultant review fee. So the initial fee is for our administrative processing and then what our town planner does. And then, like Roberta was saying, everything else, town attorney review and engineering consultant review, we bill them after the fact, and then it's that pass-through fee. So again, we'll address it. You'll see a small increase in some of those administrative costs that are going up, but otherwise everything is a pass-through fee.
thank you.
Thank you. Just so, Councilmember Passanello, I was a bit confused. It sounded, I want to make sure I understood the discussion about the budget and finance liaison. Were you asking for the budget to be printed out for finance liaison to review prior to our meeting?
To the entire council.
Okay, so you were hoping the entire council would have more than a week to review the budget?
Exactly.
Okay.
If it's ready, but Roberta was saying that the assessments are kind of up in
Right.
the air, but I think you can move forward with a number on a projection basis that the county gets in.
Okay.
Then we make adjustments to that later if you want to.
No,
Okay, so you're saying it will not be discussed at the finance liaison?
It hasn't been,
Okay,
as far as I know.
I appreciate the clarification. I was slightly confused, so thank you.
Councilman Ramirez, just to make it, to clear it up. I have individually done a quick overview, just to not catch anyone off guard, but to be spoken in details. We have not done that in finance liaison, nor have I actually done that with anyone as of yet. I'm still, as we talk about, working with the town manager and the chief to make sure that, everyone, the departments are all happy with what they're proposing and then they're okay with it. But yes, as far as Councilman Passanel, I can give you with the number, I could go with it. Specifically that, it may change March 31st. Something could pop up that could change, and I would probably add that as a new addition or a new update. But yeah, we could do that. I could get a copy out to the council.
Another reason why I raise it is because we need to have a sufficient amount of time to have a discussion on the tax rate and where we end up, all right? I mean, Roberto's doing it with his methodology, and he'll explain that methodology when we meet. But there may be some adjustments we might want to make based on what we see. And you might have a proposal. Alexander may have a proposal. I may have a proposal. It's nice to have that information in advance so we can be prepared to make a proposal based on what we see. That's where I'm coming from.
I appreciate the clarity. I was just confused when you added in the finance liaison piece. That's where I was confused, whether you were requesting it.
What I wanted to clarify was in the past, some folks had thought that the finance liaisons, again, I'll use the term putting their thumb on the scale,
Mhm.
and that's not the case.
Right. So I just wanted to clarify what you were requesting because I was a bit confused. So thank you for the clarity.
Any other questions, comments? Everybody's good with the schedule? Okay, looks good. Thank you. Let's move on to our next agenda item for discussion to appoint the town treasurer, town clerk, and chief of police.
Okay, I'll cover this one real quick. In your standard meetings, you do the appointment of charter employees. That'll be coming up in March, so that'll be next week. So this is a memo ahead of time, just so that everybody can review it and be aware of the action that will take place at your meeting next week on the 3rd. If you have any questions regarding the action, please let me know. But this is something that we go through every 2 years. You reappoint your clerk, your treasurer, and your chief of police.
Okay. Anybody issues, comments, nothing? Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Our next agenda item is the policies and procedures discussion.
Yes, so I understand that back in the fall, there might have been a discussion that council members wanted to have regarding the policies and procedures and if any edits were needed to the document. So the documents before you, I know we have received comments back from Councilmember Baker. Thank you for submitting those. I want everybody to take a look at it. If you have comments tonight or suggestions of what you would like to see changed, please let me know. I did want everybody to read through it very thoroughly so that you can see there are a couple things in here that we'll continue to make sure we're doing as we've listed out, such as when we have a closed session on a regular meeting night, it'll be at 6 p.m. So looking ahead to next week, that will be the case for the closed session. Also, I wanted to jump ahead. I have some comments that I would like for us to work on addressing for clarity. On packet page 24, section 7, boards, authorities, commissions, and committees. So as this section stands right now, I think it's missing a lot of information based on how active our council has been in years past and how active you guys currently are. And what I'm mainly hitting at is section 7-1B. We need to update the liaison positions we have. We no longer have a police liaison nor a historical commission liaison. We need to instead plug in that we do have a business liaison and we have a community outreach liaison. I also want to call to attention that as it reads, I read it as one council member fulfills these positions. However, we have 2 appointed finance liaisons. So we need to address having multiple members if that's the desire of council. One of the things I would like for all of our liaisons to work on as a homework assignment, if possible, is for each of you to come up with a brief job description, if you will, of what your liaison position does.
Doesn't the junior person have to do that?
No, he's gonna have to do his planning commission one anyway. So, or ARB? Yes. No. ARB. Right. The junior person.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about, I thought you were talking about Alexander.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh no. Yeah, he can do the finance one. No, no,
I'll talk-
you can flip a coin.
I'll coordinate.
So what I would like each of you to do is just think through what you think your liaison job is, and then let's discuss it all together as a group. Let's go through. If you're struggling, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help give bullet points of like, this is what we would expect as a staff that your liaison position would fulfill. But I think that would be very beneficial to have in our packet moving forward as some guidance for yourselves, as well as everybody to understand, and then councils moving forward to know this is what liaisons did in the past. In that, I would like to include, a standard for everybody. So section 7-2 is roles and guidelines, and you'll see that this is completely empty. I would like some of that to be standard across the positions. So each month you're submitting your report to the clerk on this day to be included in the monthly agenda. That's a written format of a report. If you have standing committee meetings, which some of us do, let's go ahead and put that in there. It doesn't have to be a date and a time, but it can be you meet twice a month, every other week to do check signing and review of your expenditures. So those are some of the things that we want to address and include in here. I will work on the standard roles and guidelines for all of the positions, and then we'll marry them up as needed if there's unique situations for your different roles. Yes.
Thank you so much. These are actually my notes that I had written up on Post-it notes. I love the request to clearly define each role. I would kind of hope to get a consensus with everyone and with you, Emily, where this could fall into line with our policies and procedures, and where I would like to see something a bit more formal for our liaisons in the sense of how we conduct our meetings. I think that once we've clearly defined our role, I think it will be very easy for us to create an agenda for us when we meet with staff. I would like to, moving forward, ensure that we are being transparent with not just our residents as to how we're facilitating these positions, but also with our fellow colleagues up here to ensure that we're all on the same page. And I view it as just being transparent and inclusive. So I'm thinking maybe if we have a sort of template maybe, or sort of expectations on our reporting, then that way we would be able,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
that we would be able to better facilitate like a smoother kind of experience. And because I feel like that would also facilitate better communication for our monthly reports as well, and sort of streamline that experience.
Do you feel that this would be something that would fall right here under like 7-2, where you have roles and guidelines? So guidelines could be the expansion of when you meet with staff, it's expected to have a standing agenda. Notes can be taken and made available to the public upon request. Like, would that
I
be
would
something
almost
you want
encourage everyone to
there?
put their notes with our report,
Okay. so
because
the
this
lia-
is, I'm meeting